What is good, guys, man? Thank you for tuning back into the channel, man. If you're new, make sure you hit that sub button down below to be notified for every single video that I do drop, man. So this guy, man, this video right here says that he woke up in an 8-day coma. In another realm. He don't know if he was waking up in heaven or hell. He said it's not heaven or hell that he was in. We don't know what realm he was in, but a lot of people talk about like different realms that you'll be in and stuff like that. But without further ado, we're going to jump right into the video, and we're going to talk at the end, man. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and let's go ahead and get into the video, guys, man. See what this guy talking about.
I was not on this earth. I was not in the earthly realm. It was very apparent that I was somewhere else. It wasn't hell, but I almost felt like it was one of the heavens in some plane or something that wasn't as intense, but it was barren. I was lost. When I closed my eyes.
So he just says one of the heavens. If I'm not mistaken, that's what he just said.
Like it was one of the heavens in some plane or something that wasn't as intense, but it was barren. I was lost. When I closed, it's hard to. I was not on this earth. I was not in the earthly realm. It was very apparent that I was somewhere else. It wasn't hell, but I almost felt like it was one of the heavens in some plane or something that wasn't as intense, but it was barren. I was lost. When I closed my eyes, there is no concept of time. It's hard to describe because things like this don't exist on earth. So I open up my eyes and I'm in the desert, very vast, wide desert. And I feel a presence not too far from me, but it's coming towards me. And to my left, it stays with me to my left. I can't see it. I'm not allowed to look at it, but it's like it's guiding me, like it took my hand or something, but not in a physical way. My mind and my body was connected to this guide, this angelic guide. I never ever got to see that angelic guide, but I knew it loved me and I knew it was empowering me, and it knew that I could be successful or be victorious in what was about to happen. It's like I had that feeling. I just knew, but it was not going to be pleasant at all. It seemed a very short amount of time, but there is no time, so it's hard to describe to you. So I'm standing at the entrance of this cave, and just looking into the cave and the darkness in there, there's a little bit of light coming out. Demonic, evil. I mean, I did not want to go in there, but I knew I had to. As if I were kind of getting some instructions, but not necessarily talked to in a way. I knew that the only way I was going to wake up is if I went into that cave and I did what I had to do. I didn't know what was going to go on. I had no idea what was in there. And that angelic being, it left me. Talk about a feeling of fear and emptiness and loneliness. You're just in a bad spot. And we don't realize how much God protects us here on this earth. He holds the enemy at bay, and he gives us this power to have authority and to ask God to rebuke the enemy and that sort of thing. But what happens when you're unconscious in a coma and you feel that you've left the earthly plane and now you're in somewhere else? It's very dangerous. I didn't know how that was going to work, but I had confidence and I knew somehow I was going to do it. So I walk in to this cave. It's very small on the entrance, but very dark, and you really can't see inside. And when you walk in, of course, it gets very big. It opens up. And so when I walked in there, and here we go with the weird, strange stuff, and the evil was, you could feel it. It's as if every part of my body could feel evil, but I could handle it at that point. And there were these 4 wind instruments, kind of like flutes. They were just kind of floating in the air. And you think, okay, a little flute. No, a very large flute. Every one of them was very large, but there were different sizes. And one was it was so red, it was beyond red. Like blue, it was beyond blue. So purple is beyond purple. Everything was beyond what we know here on earth. It was so dark in there that these flutes, I think the other one had a yellowish tint to it, but the flutes gave off this light, and they all worked together, and it gave off this aurora of light, just enough to see around. And I thought, I don't want to meet what plays those flutes. It's the first thing I thought. And no, as soon as I thought that, and that came to my mind, there were stairs that I noticed them, and I'm like, where did those come from? And I look up the stairs, and coming down the stairs, okay, here we go. It was these maybe 4 foot, even shorter. They were, I call them minion or subdemons, and they were hideous. They were disgusting. Their skin was disgusting. It had oozing and things coming out of it. It had, gosh, it's so hard to describe unless you've seen it. It was so hideous that you wanted to run away, but they weren't about to let me run away. But believe me, in my mind, I wanted to. And what kept me standing there was the fact that I knew that if I turned around and ran, I was going to be prey, and I wasn't going to make it out of that cave, which I'm now going to call a lair, a demon lair. I truly believe that's what it was. And so as these creatures come down towards me, they were doing everything they could to keep me in there, knowing that I could possibly make a run for it, but I knew I couldn't anyway. And no sooner had I done that, I made sure that I was keeping my eye on this really one dark area along the side of this cave, this lair. And I knew if I had gone up to those stairs, if they had tried to get me up to the stairs, I was done. I was done. So I knew if I ran or if I went up the stairs, that was the end of it. I had to stand my ground and get ready. This is the absolutely most intense part of it right here. Without of that darkness on the side of this lair cave, it was about a 10 to, I say 11 foot creature. It had a hoodie kind of thing, dark, but it was not really, it's more like a robe. The robe was kind of a grayish black, but the face that I could see in the hands were darker than the shadows that it was in. And so my eyes focused on it, and I saw it, and I could see it was so dark. I tell the guys when I do the prison ministry that it was so dark that I could see the details that I see in your face. I could see the ridge lines, and things like that make up a face. When I looked at it, the face was so dark that it had these yellow glowing eyes, to the fact that where they were fluorescent. Once it looked at me, it was like if you've ever seen a cat stalking a mouse. So what does the mouse do? Well, the mouse is paralyzed in fear. It can't move because the predator, it's almost like the predator has this ability to put it to paralyze it. That's what happened to me. When this thing came completely out of the shadows, it was sending so much fear in my direction, kind of how I described it earlier. It permeated every fabric, every cell, every organ, every hair follicle. I could feel it just everywhere in my body.
Man, he said he don't know where he's at. He talking about he in the second heaven. That sounds like he was definitely in hell. That sounds like that was a warning. If you don't get yourself together and right with Christ, man, I feel like God to send out warnings like that. You know what I'm saying? To allow us to fall in line to what we need to be doing, y'all. So y'all comment down below exactly what y'all think he was. I never heard of another layer, a second heaven, like what he was talking about or whatever the case may be. But that definitely sounds like he was definitely somewhere getting ready to be tormented. You know what I'm saying? In hell somewhere, man. But yeah, man, I love y'all. I ain't really got too much to say about this, man. I just hope and I pray that, everybody can truly submit and be obedient to God and die to their flesh, and every video I talk about, man, I just pray that everybody can be led the right way, man. I'm very tired right now. I ain't really got too much to say tonight, man, but I just pray everybody get a good night's rest. And just they wake up in the morning just to see a new day and fulfill their purpose, At the end of my videos, I always say stay inspired, stay motivated, stay grounded. Until next video, I'm out of here. Peace.